Hello all. Welcome to uh, a very short introduction to a very useful program that I have been using for a long time. I don't even remember how long. Probably it's 10 years or so, and it has proven itself to be very useful at certain times where a lot of other things would not work, and expect seem to be the right choice to do certain things. Before we jump into anything else, let me quickly show you how the script works. So if I show you right now, I am Amiteji. Let me run the script and see what happens. So I need to give the localhost as the argument. Let's wait for a few moments, and if you see, my login ID has changed. I have done a SSH to localhost with test at localhost, and I am logged in as test right now, and I this is a SSH session. So you might say that this can be achieved with passwordless SSH. So what's so great about it? But before we go on all those questions and answers, let's remove the entry in known hosts. For those of you who don't know, if you don't have a entry in known hosts when you are SSHing into any host for the first time, it will ask you to verify the validity of the host where you are doing SSH. So now we should expect that prompt, and we should not get into test user, right? But let's run this again, and as you can see, I am immediately logged in as test user without any delay. Now this is done using a scripting language called as expect, which is very small, very simple, very straightforward, and very useful. It is based on language called as TCL. Before we go into how to use the script, let's look at the info that this utility provides via DNF. So I have just run DNF info expect, and if you look at the description, it says that expect is a TCL application for automating and testing interactive applications such as Telnet, FTP, password, FSCKR, login tip, etc. And it makes it very easy to write script to control another program and interact with it. The package contains expect and some scripts that use it. So we will be using only expect today, and let's see how expect works. So the way expect works is it is basically automating the interactive nature of any program. So if I have to write expect script, let's say a.exp, then I will start it with my hashbang user bin expect, and then spawn ssh test at localhost. So the spawn is the command which is used to start a new process within the context of expect, where you want to send and receive your commands from, right? So first thing I am doing is I am just spawning a process which is SSH at test at localhost. It could be any other program, not necessarily just SSH, right? Now once I have done that, I can expect whatever I want to. So here I will expect password, and when I get that, I can do a send of my password for test user and /r. This /r is very important because this is what is telling expect to send the return key as well. If you don't do that, then expect will not send a return key, and it will keep waiting after the test unless there is a external interaction. And after this, let's just do a interact. Interact is a very useful command in expect that you would definitely like to know. What it does is once it has done all the expect and send things, then you can use it to interact with whatever was spawned within the context of expect. Let's run this after changing the mode to execute and see how this works. So I'll just change mode for a.exp and run this, and boom, I am test user. That's 2 lines of code. How about I wanted to change the password for test user? So first thing that I need to know is what should I be expecting once I have logged in. So let's expect this string which is in my PS1 for test user. I'll do this after sending this. I'll do expect this and send pass wd/r. Once I do this, what happens? That I need to know, right? So let me open a new window, su minus test. I'll log in. If I run pass wd, it says current password. So I need to copy this and then say I would expect this. I'll send, let's say test2 is my new password. So I'll send test2/r. Then once I do that, okay, first I need to send current password, which is test. So test, if I can type. Still I cannot type. Test. Okay, so it asks for new password. So current password, first I need to send test again. Once I have sent that, I can expect password, and I can send my new password, which is test2. So if I say test2, it will say bad password. So I really need to give a good password. Okay, so let's remove test2 and give some interesting password. Let's say PLOKI123098 $. Okay, so this is a pretty complicated password, and if I type something like this, then it will ask me to retype the new password. So since it contains word password again, I'll send the same again. Once I send that again, I should get my prompt back. If I get my prompt back, I can copy this. I'll get my prompt back, and then I can simply send exit. Exit will make the shell exit, and hence I don't need the interact again. Okay, so this is what I have now. Let's run this and see what happens. If I have not done any typo and everything is good, then we should be able to change the password for user text without ever touching our keyboard during the whole execution of the script. So let's start the script. Login. All authentication tokens updated successfully. Great. So now let's have a copy a.exp to b.exp and see if we can just log in. Right? So we will just log in. Actually, wait. I probably need the new password also. So I will just say interact. I'll probably get a error when I log out from the interactive session, but actually I will not be able to log in itself, right? So that should be okay. Let's see. So chmod +x b.expect, do a b.expect, and I should not be able to log in since the password was successfully changed. Now b.exp, I will send this as my password rather than test, and I should be able to log in. So you can see how we can automate small tasks. But what we have still not gone through is how to handle the situation that we were seeing earlier for the SSH issue. So there, the possibilities are two and not one. It could tell you to type yes to validate the authenticity of the SSH host, or if it is already accepted, then it will directly ask you for the password. So how do we do it? It's pretty straightforward. First is how do we take positional argument. So positional argument is handled like this in TCL. In square brackets, we say L index $argv 0. This is the first positional argument. You might notice that this is argv 0 and not like bash where you have $0 set as your program name, and hence for positional argument first you have to use $1. So this is setting my IP variable to the positional argument done one that I have given. Secondly, I have given a timeout of 3. Actually, this is probably too bad to be given here. Mostly in any SSH, 1 second should be more than enough to get a response from the SSH server. That being the case, we can change the timeout to 1, which means that we can have a 1 second delay when we are logging into SSH server, and I will explain you why. The next, as we expected, we have a SSH test at $IP. Now, next what I am doing is I am expecting the authenticity of. This is the statement you will get when the authenticity of the SSH host has not been verified and it is not added to your host file. Now, if that happens, we simply send a yes and we move on to the next one. Now, I could have actually given it like what I have given for password, or I don't even need this, and I could have given it without curly braces as well, but I am just showing you the way you can handle this. So the other way you can expect multiple things is you can also put something like this here, that if password, then send test. You can use /r or /n interactively. I have never seen a problem with using /r or /n, but generally I prefer using /r when it comes to expect. So I can do something like this as well for my expect command, where it means that I am expecting either of these two. It's like a switch case statement in Bash or any other programming language. So if it sees password, it will send test. If it sees the authenticity of, then it will send yes. Now, but this is a single step operation, means it will only expect it once and not twice. So what will happen is, if the authenticity is not valid, then after authenticity you anyway need to send the password. So that way you will still need to expect for password. And hence I am just giving the authenticity of in expect statement, and since the timeout is 1 second, if this is not found in 1 second, it will move on to the next one where it will expect the word password. If it finds it, it will send the word test and then interact with it. So as you can see, this is a very simple language that you can use. In expect, generally all you want to do is expect and send, or probably interact. In most of the cases, if you are just trying to automate an interactive program with expect. For more complicated cases, you can always search on the web, and if you are just searching for expect, you might not find the right result. So search for expect space TCL, as this is a TCL extension, that is TCL language that expect is using. So if you are searching for expect TCL, you will find the appropriate results for this. That's all I had for today. Thank you so much for joining.